Hi, everybody. Today we're going to be doing a close read on Paxton's poem To a Daughter Leaving Home. And in our close read, we're going to break down the text to find themes of growing up, parental love, and moving on. We are going to look at how the author uses language, symbolism, imagery, tone, patterns, and phrases to create emotion. This poem is about a mother reflecting on her daughter's childhood and that bittersweet feeling of nostalgia and watching her grow up. We'll see that the imagery she uses is about riding a bike and representing that independence. We're going to go ahead and get started with the close read. So I'm going to share my screen. When we are doing a close read, we are going to read the poem, the text multiple times. And each time you're reading, you're looking for a different type of literary device. And it's important to keep those literary devices that you're identifying organized. So this first time we're going to do a read, we're going to focus on imagery and symbolism. To a daughter leaving home, when I taught you at 8 to ride a bicycle, looping along beside you as you wobbled away. This phrase, wobbled away, super, super strong imagery because we think of almost like somebody who's uncertain or doesn't have balance. And so for this annotation, I went ahead and put uncertainty, but also excitement when you are, I'm sure, a little kid in those early years trying to have that independence and you're not super balanced, but you're wobbling, you're excited. Continuing on two round wheels, my own mouth rounding in surprise when you pulled ahead down the curved path of the park. I keep waiting for the thud. Now, this I keep waiting is a sense of anticipation, right? And almost worry. And when you are a parent, as the author is in this one with her daughter riding a bike, you have that worry of, is the child going to get hurt? I need to prepare. How am I going to calm them down? And so in this line, we see the mom is waiting for her child to get hurt. That anticipation. I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting. I'm here for you. Of your crash as I sprinted to catch up, while you grew smaller, more breakable with distance, pumping, pumping for your life. This phrase, pumping, pumping for your life, it represents that determination and that energy and that youthfulness. Screaming with laughter, the hair flapping behind you like a handkerchief waving goodbye. There's so much imagery, so much symbolism we have here, but this is just a couple. Um, Then, when we read for the second time, we're going to focus on that tone and emotion. And so, when we read through, we want to identify words or phrases that bring out a certain emotion in us. So, when I taught you at 8 to ride a bicycle, looping along beside you as you wobbled away on two round wheels, my own mouth rounding of surprise, when you pulled ahead down the curved path of the park, I kept waiting for the thud of your crash as I sprinted to catch up, while you grew smaller, more breakable with distance, pumping, pumping for your life, screaming with laughter, the hair flapping behind you like a handkerchief, waving goodbye. So we see um, different feelings. We have nostalgia, happiness, grief, sad, that realization of a new era, loss. So at the beginning, um, she says, when I taught you to ride a bicycle at 8, this brings on feelings of excitement, joy. And then oh, we're going to change that color there to pink. And then it says in surprise when you pull the head down the curve. All right, in surprise, that for itself speaks. And we see that probably excitement, surprise, um, but also shock, right? And then that I kept waiting for the thud. So sometimes we can get multiple, um, multiple annotations in one close reading, so or in multiple close readings. So this one, yes, shows that imagery, that symbolism, but it also shows that emotion. As I kept waiting for your crash, as you sprinted to catch up, while you grew smaller, more breakable with distance. Smaller, more breakable. This makes me think, brings on the feelings of worry, right? If it's breakable, you kind of like anxious. Anxious is more the word, but also if something's growing in distance, then we begin to have that sadness in goodbye. And so the tone shifts from excitement to that realization of loss. And this moment of growing smaller, 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 this is that realization. But then there's that sense of, you know, in when your kid is leaving, they're screaming with laughter. Oh, excuse me. They're happy, they're excited for the future while the parent is watching them leave, that sadness is occurring. So now that I have modeled the close reading for these students, I want to give you a couple of steps to do it yourself. Stop sharing. Perfect. We're going to go to the whiteboard. All right. So, a couple of things. When you are doing a close read, as I said before, you're going to do multiple reads. So that in itself is explanative. Um, but when you're doing your close reads, here's a couple of steps to help you along the way. So your first one could be to underline keywords or phrases. And those keywords or phrases could be what you feel like is important to you or not necessarily what's important to you, but what stands out to you. These could be words that are repeated. These could be um, words that relate to the topic of the poem. Okay. And then your second reading, you're going to identify uh, imagery, symbolism, and tone. And just like I showed in that very first read, so what could these things simplify? What phrases are used for imagery? Like, what can you visualize? And then that tone the author used towards the topic. Are they happy? Are they sad? Are they angry? Identify those basic feelings of tone, and then you could dive deeper into them. The third time you do a close read, we want to look at the structure. Um, so identifying like, are they shorter lines? Are they longer lines? Is there a rhythmic flow to it? Is it choppy, smooth? And how does that help you understand the poem more? Because in that, the author creates the The fourth close read should be what emotions does the poem convey? So, emotions. What are they feeling? So, like in this poem, we saw that they were feeling nostalgic. And then the last one, identifying those themes. And remember, there can be multiple themes, there's not just one theme. What are they touching on? Hopefully, this has helped you with your close reading. Thank you.